Hey everybody, and welcome back to the RGR Football channel on YouTube. My name's Daniel Harms, and for those of you that didn't get to see yesterday's video, today we're going to do a little bit of a different approach with our mock draft today. And I want to get into all of that, but first I need to let you know that I do have some issues with my sinuses. The allergies are really going crazy right now, so if I struggle to get some words out, you guys can't really understand me because of that. I apologize ahead of time. Also, my daughter might interject her viewpoints into this mock draft video. So again, I appreciate you guys being patient with me today. So let's go ahead and get into it because I want to do something different, like I said. And I talked about doing an all offensive and an all defensive draft. So today we're going to start with the all offensive mock draft. We may have time to get to the all defensive one. We're just going to have to see how time goes with that, with all the guests that Ryan and I have lined up over the next 8 days or so. We're going to have to try to squeeze these in here as we go. So let's go ahead and get into it. And I think we're going to be a little bit less eccentric with this one. We're going to be maybe trying to move back a little bit. Definitely not moving up, I don't think. But we'll kind of see how that works out. We try to go a little bit quicker than normal. Maybe fit a couple in here depending on how time goes with that. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do at all. So we're already off to a great start. Let's exit that mock. Got to readjust everything. All right, here we go. Back to square one. Chiefs, obviously. 7 rounds and fast. That's better. Okay, here we go. If it'll get going. All right, let's go ahead and start it. We don't necessarily know what's going to happen. There was some news today that did drop with Terrace Marshall having some injury questions when he went down to the Indianapolis checkup, essentially, and it is a little concerning. Just to be fair, and oh no, I'm not giving you a top 100 pick, and then an extra no, that's not happening. But yeah, he did have some medical concerns coming back. That does knock him effectively down my board a little bit. So I'm less likely to take him in the first now if he's there, just because there are some extenuating circumstances now. Just like I don't believe the Chiefs will take a guy with multiple injury questions. So there is possibility there that Terrace Marshall does fall behind the first round, and I can understand that. So as we keep going here, yes, I don't really want to trade up. I don't. I want to see how the board's going to fall at 31. And I personally want to explore trading back or staying at 31 for this initial draft. So let's go ahead and see what we have here. We have a ton of different picks to go back, probably because they are all the way at 51, which I wouldn't necessarily mind. 2 seconds. Unfortunately, I can't move this down. This is dumb. Okay, so let's see what they're wanting here. First and our second to move back and then up. We also get an extra 7th. Move back 5 spots and go up 13 in the second round. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. Let's see what we got here. So I do like this just giving us an option here because, yeah, we'll stay here and see what we got. Because I do like being able to move up in the second round a little bit to really kind of test the waters in that 50 area, because that's where I think there might be a guy that I really like on this team. So like I said, we're going to clear out any options for defense. We're going to look strictly at offensive positions. So we don't need quarterback, we don't need running back. Obviously, let's look at wide receiver. Rondale Moore, Murray Rogers, Dyami Brown, Nico Collins, all guys that have their places in the NFL. Personally, I don't think the Chiefs want to take a top 100 pick on a slot guy. Maybe that's more of the 4th round, 5th round kind of thing. So it would be Dyami Brown and Nico Collins here. Maybe more so at 50, we'll look at that. Tight end, you've got Tommy Tremble, Brevin Jordan, who's actually jumped. Brevin Jordan, interesting there. Offensive tackle, obviously. Let's look at this. So at 36, we're in the second round effectively. Dillon Radunz does have 34-inch arms. I was able to confirm that, which, let's be honest, does help his draft stock for the Chiefs on their board anyway. So this would be a spot at 36. I think it's a bit of a reach myself So Eichenberg, again, is continuing to fall down because of his arm length. Interior offensive line just isn't. I don't want to take Creed Humphrey at 36. So again, this is going to be a spot where I'm probably going to force a pick a little bit, and it's going to be Dillon Radunz. That's a guy who does have some developing to do. He's a very good athlete, got great size, the length that the Chiefs really require. So I'm going to go ahead and take him here at 36 and just kind of see what we can do here. So yeah, we're gonna see how this draft boards falls here, because I think that you're gonna get a guy who I personally really like for this team. I think Dyami Brown fits a lot of what they want to do. He's the guy that I am targeting right here with the 50th pick. I don't think he's gonna last to 63. So that's really ideally what I was thinking of, even with these first two picks to begin with. I think that that's a very good idea to really look at. But of course, we're not going to just go ahead and randomly take him at 50. We're going to see who else is on the board. For instance, Brady Christensen is a guy who I believe you could probably make him be a center. I think he's good enough athletically. I think he's smart enough to be able to take over the center position and actually do a good job. That's something that I would play around with a little bit, honestly. Tight end still the same too. Again, I don't think the Chiefs care about their tight end position. And ideally, I think that we are still looking at we're looking at a position, wide receiver or interior, with this second pick. I'm aiming for wide receiver because, again, I do think that Dyami Brown is going to go in this range, and he's definitely going before 63 in my opinion. So we're going to take a look here at just the interior. Again, it's the same kind of guys. Quinn Miners is definitely a guy that I would look at, but I'm taking Dyami Brown. I think that he not only gives you that deep threat that the Chiefs really covet. He's got that speed, but he also is going to bring some of the Sammy Watkins role, in my opinion. From what I watched, I think he's got more than enough skill in the short to intermediate parts of the field to get open on his own. That's going to take some time to develop, really learn the system, but he has the pieces that I think that will really open up this Chiefs offense. So I'm taking Dyami Brown, and we're going to start looking to fill out this interior and add probably more depth at tackle. If I'm being completely honest with you, there's really nothing in this draft that's more important than setting themselves up for the future and finding ways to continuously protect Patrick Mahomes. They have to find ways to set themselves up long term, because they cannot continue to trot out their guys who are just athletic, and depth being an issue is not going to help them continuously do that. Mahomes will get hurt at some point, and you don't want to go into that situation with the depth that we saw in the Super Bowl. We were all a little overconfident, myself included, in the ability that they were going to be able to get things done. So I think, excuse me, the right thing to do here is take an interior offensive lineman or a tackle, again, to just solidify the position. That you get a guy who can probably come in and have some learning bumps on the way in Radunz, and then you get a guy behind him or Niang to develop. That's really what you're looking for here. So let's see what we got at interior. Again, I did assume that Quinn Miners would be gone at this point, but again, there's a lot of options here on the board for the Chiefs with the center position. So Kendrick Green is a guy who is very good. He's a very athletic, and he's got that mean, nasty streak to him as well. But again, at 94, it's a little rich for me personally. So let's go ahead and look at some guys we could possibly take at tackle and either convert them or really use them for depth. And I think that that's something you can really look at here, because there are some good options. Again, this is the part of the draft that you're looking for developmental guys, regardless of left tackle or right tackle. So you're going to take someone right here for a guy who's not going to be your starting tackle. Is an interesting, it's an interesting development. You have a guy like Tommy Doyle out of Miami of Ohio, probably going to be there a little bit later as well. Very athletic group, very good at what they do. He could probably come down inside as well. I think James Hudson might have to go down inside because of his athletic issues that didn't show up on his at his pro day. He didn't test very well, so he's definitely a guy you could double up on a little bit. But let's have a little bit of fun here. What do we got at wide receiver still? Yeah, Tutu Atwell. I'm not touching that guy with a 10-foot pole. Just not only is he 149 pounds or whatever it is that he weighed in at, he doesn't have a route tree. Like, he's just a speed guy who I can't get behind myself. So I don't like Seth Williams either. I'm very low on him. Frank Darby is a guy who screams Chiefs just because he's a little bit shorter. He's quick. He can get open, that kind of thing. But there's some names here that I'm looking to target a little bit later myself. So let's take a look at that tight end position. So tackle would be an option there. Again, I don't personally like doubling up too early. And I do think there are some centers that are going to be available later. So tight end position actually a really good spot for going all offense. And I think Kenny Yeboah out of Ole Miss is the guy that I want. And I think that he's really going to help solidify that number 2 tackle position, as well as give you someone that can attack deep down the field. He is not the fastest and the most athletic guy in terms of being able to get open, but he can go get the ball. He can find open spaces. And when you have a guy like Travis Kelce help him, hi, Avery. Excuse me, sorry guys, who can really help him along in that route running aspect. I think that this is a perfect fit for him, and you can help develop him and be a really good tight end too. So I'm going to take Kenny Yeboah and really solidify the pass catchers. Something that the Chiefs haven't had a whole lot of in the past couple of years is a tight end 2 with actual upside, and I think that Kenny would provide that. It's a really good option here. Now we're gonna start to see some of those doubling up picks here. We're probably also going to take a running back that has some top end speed, some athleticism, some things that I really like, because not only are you going to have to add some type of game breaking element speed to the running back room with the loss of Damian Williams, I do think that you still want someone that has that dynamicism in this offense. Yes, it's a troll. In this offense that can come in the instance that Clyde Edwards-Helaire is not healthy and he gets hurt. You want to be able to have that. So right here, pick 136. What do we got? Tight ends. Oh, I'm not tight ends. Offensive tackle. Tommy Doyle is there, like I mentioned. This would be a spot I could definitely see picking a center. Kendrick Green and David Moore are 2 guys. Even Drew Dahlman are all 3 really good centers. This is an interesting spot because I think that Kendrick Green and Drew Dahlman provide more from they've played against better competition standpoint. David Moore might be a better runner first and then developing some more of that pass protection because he's an athlete too. It's a very fun board, and I haven't actually taken any of these guys, any of the mock drafts that we've done. I probably have taken David Moore at some point, but I know that Drew Dahlman has been flying up the athletic matrix board, things like that. I know Ryan's a fan of him. So we're going to actually solidify the center position for the future and take Drew Dahlman here at pick 136. I really do like that. I think it fits well what they're going to end up transferring to, which is guys that have athleticism, but also provide power in the run game. Because as we saw, when you can't run the football or even give a defense some semblance that you want to run the football, it allows them to do whatever they want to in the back end and really get after the quarterback. You want to try and keep Mahomes protected. That's one way you can do it. All right, what do we got here with our second pick in the 4th round? Let's look at doubling up on wide receiver here. A guy that I really like as a slot receiver that probably has more right now readiness than a guy like McCole Hardman. I hate to say it, and I hate drowning, just like tapping on that drain. But again, he's just hasn't taken those steps forward. I do think he's only a slot based on his frame and the way that he doesn't have much physicality running his routes, being able to get off of physicality in his stems and down the field, that kind of thing. He just has that speed to get open and being used behind the line of scrimmage. A guy who I actually didn't see the Chiefs taking a whole lot, and I've talked openly on Twitter about him, is Daz Newsome, who I rewatched recently. About 5'10", a little under 200 pounds. He's a little stockier. He has a lot of quickness, a lot of burst. He doesn't have that 4.3 speed, but he does have a 4.5 speed, which is really, it's good. It's more than good enough to get open and get downfield and get touchdowns off of plays like that. So I think that he's a guy who I actually think would help this offense a lot. And that's funny because we're going to take 2 guys from North Carolina. There's a reason that both of them went for over 1,000 yards in 2019. They're very good at what they do. And I think that you can utilize them both in different ways. Dyami on the outside, but also has inside versatility. Daz on the inside, but also you can split him out wide, use him as a blocker. And he can also stretch the field a little bit, but provides some short area quickness to run those quick post patterns and those quick hitches and things like that. They can get open. I really like keeping them together on the same team. So I'm actually going to do this for the first time in my mock draft 2020 season or 2021 season, excuse me. And as much as not maybe not necessarily hitting wide receiver is a hugely important thing, but keeping the depth there is important, I think. And having guys that not only provide good hands and some speed element, but the short area quickness to get open when they want to and when you need them to. That's important to this offense. His timing and being in the spot you're supposed to be in are very important things. And Daz Newsome provides those things. He's very good at seeing what the defense is showing you, where the gaps are in the defense, and getting open quickly. Something that the Chiefs want to do. They want to get the ball out quickly, as well as attack down the field. So again, a guy who can come in and provide a little bit of that. Okay, so Tommy Doyle is still here. Interesting. So is Adrian Ely and Dan Moore. Not the best tackle spot to be in, but Tommy Doyle was a guy who apparently had some first-round buzz after his 2019 season, but has fallen down quite a ways. I think that, I did watch a little bit of his tape. Obviously, he's a developmental tackle prospect. Playing at Miami of Ohio, you're not going to see the best competition, but the dude's got a lot of athleticism, and that's something, again, that the Chiefs covet at the tackle position. And I think you can work with some of the issues that he's had with letting guys get by him and get speed, get upfield, and letting tackles get inside, or excuse me, letting edges get inside his chest. You can kind of train some of those things out. So let's go ahead and draft a Tommy Doyle here. Double up there, just really solidify some things. Again, this is probably the sweet spot to draft a running back for the Chiefs. Khalil Herbert out of Virginia Tech is a good option here. A guy I've had my eye on personally is Chris Evans out of Michigan. And you're going to kind of, if you were to go back to his 2019 season, 2018 season, when he was actually utilized more, he's got some game-breaking ability. He can catch out of the backfield. He's good at finding those lanes and cutback lanes and getting upfield and scoring because he has that 4.4, so sub 4.5 speed, something that the Chiefs don't currently have on the roster. So Evans, for me, is a guy who stands out here. It would be him or Herbert, and I think that Evans has more straight line and cutback ability, speed. He also has some short area quickness that really you want in this offense. So I'm going to take Chris Evans here. And now I think the Chiefs have two more picks left, one in round 6, and then now we picked up the 7th round draft pick too. So let's go ahead and see what we're going to do here. I think that now we have 2 wide receivers. We have a tight end. We got a running back. We got 2 tackles. We have a center. Let's see what we can do at the guard position. I think that that's something you want to still provide some depth to with guys that don't have a whole lot of possibility to stay in the offense, perhaps. So let's see what we got here. It's a very tapped interior offensive line position. Maybe that's something I could have attacked earlier. But I do think that there's options that they have on the team that they want to keep. So let's see if we can see a tackle that possibly you can bring inside. Alaric Jackson is a guy who has some of that. I know a lot of Iowa fans were not very happy with his performance. So maybe we take him in the idea of transferring him to a guard. I can see that he does have some power. He does have some athleticism. Again, some things that he did struggle with were speed to the outside. And just struggling in space as a tackle can be minimalized by bringing them down inside. So Alaric Jackson sticks out to me as a guy who could benefit from being a guard at the next level. So let's take him with the idea that that's what we're going to do, because I did watch his film at least, so I know that he has some of the athletic traits that Andy really looks for, and he can really definitely be used as a guard at the next level, using some of his length that he does possess in an Iowa offense that you really need to be, you have to be able to move guys to the point of attack because they want to run the football in Iowa. So I like that. Let's see what we got. 7th round draft pick. Running back, we did wide receivers. So let's see what we can just kind of throw at the wall at tight end. I am openly a fan of Nick Eubanks. Luke Farrell is a guy who possesses a lot of pass catching upside. So maybe not as much as the Chiefs want to use a second tight end for blocking. You could probably use Luke Farrell or even Nick Eubanks as an H-back, someone that can come out of the backfield, block a little bit, but still run routes and give you speed in the intermediate and parts of the field. That's tight end. So that's an interesting option here. Ideally, I do think taking a couple of tight ends in this kind of a draft process is an idea you want to stick with. But let's see what we can stick at the wall at wide receiver, because why not? Just take a bunch of wide receivers in this draft. Let's see. We have Jalen Darden, a guy I know a lot of Chiefs fans have been high on, but let's give him someone just uber athletic. It's really high upside player with the speed and the size to play. Tamorrin Terry, because I know a lot of Chiefs fans are fans of him. I think that he does have some very questioning issues with concentration and effort and mental side of the game that he needs to understand better. But again, you're taking a stab on the 7th round pick that he's there, and you're really going for an all-out upside kind of thing. So to review, this is the all offensive draft, and I think that there's a lot of fun things here, a lot of things that you can just inject into the offense and just get a lot of weapons out of. Wide receiver, obviously the tight end, the running back position. But again, depth at tackle. You have a guy in Alaric Jackson who I think could play guard at the next level. Also possible, still developmental tackle. So you have depth. You drafted Drew Dalman to be your center of the future, because you still have the center you brought over from the Rams, who was continuously escaping my mind, Austin Blythe, to be the guy this year. You can go ahead and start Dalman the year after. Dyami Brown, Daz Newsome, Tamorrin Terry. This is fun for me. This is a really fun draft. And then you drafted your left tackle of the future in Dillon Radunz. That it's what you need to do. So you trade back a little bit, you pick up some extra prospects, and you just fill out wide receiver weapons. You grab that tight end, you grab some offensive tackle depth. Fun draft. So if there's anybody you guys saw during the draft that you would have rather drafted over some of these guys, let me know. It's all fun. We'll just continue talking about it until I get to the all defensive drafts, which will be even more interesting as it unfolds. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I love doing these. So once again, if you guys have any questions, you have anyone you want to inject over a certain player at the time I was taken, go for it. This is all fun. We are only, we're 8 days away now. We're so close. So just keep hanging in there. Ryan and I are going to get you guys a bunch of content over these next 8 days. We have a ton of stuff. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Have a great day.
Thanks for watching this video from the team at RGR Football. Click these videos to see more and subscribe to RGR Football.